السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Welcome back, dear brothers and sisters. I welcome you all to Madina Book 3. Inshallah, we'll be doing class 54 today. So inshallah, today we'll be learning concept of lesson number 16. So what is the concept of lesson number 16? It's like going back to book 1 and book 2. So we again going back to basics and getting everything what we've learned refreshed, and we move forward inshallah. So in this lesson we'll be learning about fa'als. So what are we going to learn about fa'al? So we know for any word to be called a fa'al, so it has to have minimum 3 letters. There can also be 4 letters. So basically what we have is a 3-letter fa'al, or it can have 4 letters. So these 3 letters, these are the base form of the fa'al, which forms the majority of the fa'als, which is 99.5% you can say. But there are certain fa'als which have 4 original letters. 4 original letters built in it. So what are these called as? So 3-letter fa'als, so we call it fa'al ثلاثي. So it's from ثلاثة comes ثلاثي, is a 3-letter fa'als, and 4-letter fa'als we call it as fa'al rubai. So just to give you a quick examples about these two. So any 3-letter verb, for example, dakhala, kataba, shariba, and fa'al rubai will be tarjama, harwala, basmala. So these are the 4 original letters. There is no additional letters in this. So these are the original forms of 3 letters and 4 letter. But these fa'al ثلاثي, so we know now comes to the main, the whole book 2 what we have learned now. So we're going to summarize it very quickly. So fa'al ثلاثي, so we've learned that the fa'al can be mujarrad. Mujarrad means which is built with 3 original letters, or it's called naked. It means there is nothing else attached to it. So it is the fa'al ثلاثي mujarrad. And there's other types is obviously something is attached to it. So what do we say? It is fa'al ثلاثي مزيد فيه. So there's something extra has been added to it. Something has been increased. So now going to mujarrad. So we know there are 2 forms of mujarrad. You know, with the 3-letter fa'als, there are 2 things which we need to know. One thing what we need to learn is that what are the babs of the fa'al. So the combination of mudari' and madi. So we have learned it that it will have 6 babs. So what are those babs? So we're looking at it is nasara yansuru, which is fatha on the ayn kalima in madi and dhamma on the ayn kalima in mudari'a. Daraba yadribu is fatha on the ayn kalima, or all the action takes place on the ayn kalima. So there are 6 babs, we know that. So we've been listening to the song of Brother Asif, which helps us to remember this abwabs. Daraba yadribu, fataha yaftahu, karuma yakrumu, sami'a yasma'u, and waritha yarisu. Sections, or you can say 6 abwabs where fa'al ثلاثي mujarrad can be identified. So other things is what are the types of the inbuilt characters, which is anwa'ul fa'al ثلاثي mujarrad. So these are also 6. So one is that it is built with salim letters. All there are no weak letters in it. So it is called salim, which is waw, hamza, ya, and alif maksura. So second is mithal. So we know mithal where the fa kalima is weak, which will have waw or ya. So then we have ajwaf, you know, where it's the ayn kalima is weak, and we have naqis, in which the lam kalima. So all these 3, which is mithal, ajwaf, and naqis, they can be either ya'i or wawi. And then we have lafif. So we know lafif where we have 2 weak letters in it, which can be maqroon or mafruq, together or separated. And then we have mahmuz. What is mahmuz? Mahmuz is where there is hamza in the fa'al. So it can be mahmuz al-fa'i, mahmuz al-aini, and mahmuz al-lami. So these are the types in construction, and the abwabs are the types in the combination between madi and mudari'. So going to Mazid fihi. So we know Mazid fihi there are 10 forms. 10 forms. So we've done this in beginning of book 3. So we're not going to go in all the forms. What we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to concentrate on form 2 inshallah, which is fa'ala. So before we go to form 2, we're just quickly going to see what Dr. Abdurrahim has to give us the introduction. So al-fa'lu imma thulathi wa imma ruba'i. So either it is 3 letter or it is 4 letters. فالثلاثي ما كان فيه 3 أحرف أصلية. فالثلاثي ما كان فيه 3 أحرف أصلية. So what does it mean here? So as for the 3 letters, ثلاثي, 3 letter فعل, ما كان فيه, that which has in it, we can say that which has in it, what does it have? ثلاثة أحرف أصلية, 3 original letters. For example, نحو دخل, so there is nothing added to it. دخل, كتب, شرب. والرباعي, so same thing again. And as for the 4 letters, ما كان فيه, and that which has in it, 4 أحرف أصلية, so which has 4 original letters. So without that, this ta is not alamatul mudar, that's the original part of the fa'al. Tarjama, harwala, and basmala. Those are the examples. وكل منها إما مجرد وإما مزيد. So كل منها, so ha refers to ثلاثي. So all of the files can be either mujarrad, which has original letters, 3 original letters in it, وإما مزيد, or there can be something added to it. فالمجرد, and as far as the 3 letter files, ما كان جميع أحرف أصلية, in which all of its letters are the original letters, there is no extra letters in it. والمزيد ما زيد فيه حرف أو أكثر على أحرف الأصلية. What does it mean? And as for the mazid fihi, ما زيد, that which is زيد is your فعل مجهول, زاد يزيد, زيد, that is increased in it. What is increased? حرف is your naib file. أو أكثر على أحرف الأصلية. So either 1 letter is increased or more than 1 letter has been increased in mazid fihi. الفعل الثلاثي المجرد له 6 أبواب. That's what we said. The mujarrad has 6 abwabs. What is that? Same thing. Nasara yansuru, those are the babs. Fa'ala yaf'ulu. Now kataba yaktubu. Fa'ala yaf'ilu, which is daraba yadribu. So example, jalasa yajlisu. Fa'ala yaf'alu, which is fataha yaftahu, which is, or zahaba yadhabu. Fa'ila yaf'alu, like sami'a yasma'u. Shariba yashrabu. So if there's kasra on the ain kalima, so it will always have, most of the time it will have a 99% fatha on the mudari'ah. Fa'ula yaf'ulu. So if it is ain kalima has dhamma, this is also very easy to remember. It's always have dhamma. Kasura yaksuru. Karuma yakrumu as well. So again, last one is fa'ila yaf'ilu. Example, warisa yarisu. These are the babs of the files. So having this knowledge, now what we're going to do is we're going to identify al-fa'il thulathi min fa'il rubai fi ma yali. So mayiz is to clarify. Clarify, form 2 again. Mayiz is amr. Al-fa'il thulathiyya min al-fa'il rubai fima yali. So we need to clarify which is 3-letter and which is 4-letter. It's a very simple exercise. So let's quickly go ahead with this. Hafiza. So what will this be? It will be a 3-letter file. Nama. So we did this. Ajwaf yanamu naumun. It is ajwaf al wawi. Tarjama. And that is your 4 letters. Original 4 letters. Kharaja is your ثلاثي mujarrad. Harwala. What is harwala? It is 4-letter word. Ba'athara. Again, that is a 4-letter. Da'a is your 3 letters. So this is naqis al-wawi. Da'a yad'u. In the next exercise, mayyiz. Again, clarify what al-fa'l al-thulathi al-mujarrad min fa'l al-thulathi al-mazid fima yati. So now we have to identify which is a 3-letter mujarrad, original 3 letters, and which is the mazid fihi. So we should be able to identify this very comfortably. Saddaqa is, that is your mazid fihi. Qara'a is your thulathi. Fataha thulathi. Aslama. What is aslama? It is rubai? No, it is mazid fihi. Taqabbala. What form is this? 3 plus 2, 5. It's a form 5. Mazid fihi. Taqabbala. Sami'a. It is thulathi. Istaqbala. Form 10. Istaqbala. Kawa. So what is kawa? Again it is thulathi. Waqafa. Thulathi. Ishtara. Again it is mazid fihi. This is mazid fihi. So going to start the concept of the main concept of this lesson, which is we're dealing with the mazid fihi now, and here we're going to learn about form 2. So we know in form 2, in all the mazid fihi, all forms, for all the form 10s, there are 3 things which are fixed. 3 letters, because it is coming from fa'il thulathi. So there has to be 3 original letters which are always fixed in the verb, which is fa kalima, ain kalima, and lam kalima. So nobody can change this. So what happens now? The forms, different forms are formed by adding certain letters at certain positions. That's what we need to remember. So what do we do in form 2? So we add ain with sukoon after the fa kalima. So what happens now? So when we put ain with sukoon, so what happens? Whenever there are 2 letters coming together, so there should always be an idgham. So we have to merge those and give a idgham. So it becomes fa'ala. It becomes fa'ala. And also we need to remember, so what happens, because there are 4 letters, so it's another rule we need to remember. So whenever there is a 4-letter verb, so al-alamatu mudari' will be you with damma. So, and this bab, which is bab fa'ala, can also be remembered by its masdar, which is bab taf'il. Taf'ilun. We need to remember this. Bab taf'ilun, which is the masdar for the fa'al, which is a pattern fa'ala. So let's move forward. So min abwabil fa'al al-thulathi al-mazid babu fa'ala zida fihi harfun wahidun. From the types, so these types, these abwabs are, so this bab fa'ala zida, there is increased in it. What is increased? Harfun wahidun. So 1 letter is increased. Wahuwal, and it is al-ainul muqarraratu. So ain, that is repeated. The ain kalima is repeated. Fa'ala, fa'ala. Ta'ammalil amsilat al-atiyati libab fa'ala. So ponder the examples for the bab fa'ala. Thumma maktub, and then write what? Al-mudari'a wal-amra wal-masdara min al-afwal allati talayha. And then write the mudari' and the amr and the gerund, the verbal noun from the files that which is followed. Talayha means which is followed. So let's see the example now. So what we're doing is bab fa'ala, and what is the masdar of this bab? It is bab taf'ilun. So we need to remember this bab taf'ilun. So we need to do madi, mudari', amr, and masdar. So what's the madi? Sallama. Sallama. So what is sallama means? Sallama ala is to say Assalamu alaikum or to send salutations, and sallama lahu is to give. So there are certain changes in the meaning with the harf jar. So sallama, how do you do mudari'? It is you sallimu. You sallimu. When it is 4 letters word, then alamat mudari' will have dhamma. You sallimu. So what will be the amr? So amr is easy. All we got to do is just remove the alamat mudari' and make it majzoom. Do we need hamzatul wasl? No, we don't need, because we can pronounce it. So that's why it is sallim. And what will be the masdar from the pattern taf'ilun? It will be taslimun. Taslimun. Go to the next one. Qabbala. Qabbala is to kiss. So what will be the mudari'? It will be yuqabbilu. Yuqabbilu. And amr will be qabbil. So what will be the masdar on the pattern of taf'ilun will be taqbilun. It will be kissing. Taqbilun. So the next one is a very beautiful verb, which is sabbaha. What is sabbaha? Sabbaha is someone keeps something afloat, to keep it high, to raise above. It also means to glorify, to keep it above everything else. So sabbaha is to swim or to afloat. So sabbaha is that you keep something afloat, keep it above. So what will be mudari'a? Will be you sabbihu. You sabbihu. And amr will be sabbih. Sabbih. So if you notice this fa'al, sabbaha, yusabbihu, sabbih. So in the Quran you will find all the 3 forms of this fa'al. It's been mentioned in the Quran by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah has used all these 3 forms of fa'al in the Quran, which is sabbaha, yusabbihu, sabbih. So what is in that context means? That means the praise, the glorification. And sabbih, like sabbih isma rabbikal a'la, so glorify name of your Lord, which is high esteem. So what is the masdar of this fa'al? Sabbaha. So it is, if you do it in the pattern of taf'il, it will be tasbihun. So a very common word we say tasbih. So tasbih is a glorification. So in that context it means. There is another masdar which is made from this fa'al, but it is out of the pattern. It is not on this pattern. So we have another masdar which is used as a maf'ulun mutlaq. It is used as a maf'ulun mutlaq. What is maf'ulun mutlaq? It is the masdar which is derived from the fa'al used in a sentence. Why do we use maf'ulun mutlaq? Is to give greater emphasis to the action. Greater emphasis to the action. So what is the masdar which is coming from sabbaha, yusabbihu? It is subhana. Subhana. Subhanu will be the marfu, and subhana is mansub because it is maf'ulun mutlaq. We know it is mansub. So it is mainly used as a maf'ulun mutlaq. So when we say subhanallah, glorification of Allah. So glorification of Allah. So when we say subhana, that means the sentence which is mahzuf is usabbihu subhana. I glorify Allah in the way that befits His glorification. That is what it means. Subhanallah. These are the things which we cannot translate. So we need to understand only when we understand the language of Arabic. So need to remember sabbaha, yusabbihu, sabbih, tasbihun, and what is another masdar, which is subhana. So every day in our salah, every time, every Muslim says this subhana rabbiyal a'la, subhanallah. And now we understand what this subhana means. So there's a very beautiful hadith regarding this word. What does it say? It says kalimatan khafifatan ala al-lisan thaqilatan fil mizan habibatan ila ar-rahman. So what are those? So there are 2 words which are light on the tongue, heavy on the weighing scale, and it is more dear towards with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ila ar-rahman. And what are those? Subhanallahi wa bihamdi, and Subhanallah al-Azim. So Subhanallah, the glorification of Allah. So this word is the masdar from the Sabbaha. So moving forward now, we bring some examples and we just quickly do those files. Kabbara, you kabbiru. Kabbara means to say Allahu Akbar or to make something big. So when you say yukabbiru, kabbir, and what will be the masdar? It will be takbirun, to say Allahu Akbar. Allama. Allama is to teach. To teach. Yu'allimu is teaching. Allim is teach. And what is the masdar? Is ta'lim. Like ta'limul Islam. So it is teaching. Ta'lim is teaching. Waddaha. Yuwaddihu. Waddaha to is to clarify something. Yuwaddihu. Waddih. Tawdihun. Tawdihun. Wazza'a. Yuwazzi'u. Wazzi' and tawzi'un. Tawzi'un. So wazza'a is to distribute. Yuwazzi'u, wazzi, tawzi'un. Sajjala, yusajjilu, sajjil, and tasjilun. What is sajjala? Is to enroll or to register. Hanna'a. So now what we see, we're seeing different types of fa'al here. So what is it ending with? Ending with hamza. So what is this called? The fa'al which has hamza is called mahmuz. So we'll see what happens here. So hanna'a, again it is form 2. Yuhanni'u. So we see how the hamza is written. Because there is kasra before it, it will get the kursi of ya. Yuhanni'u. Then hanni. Hanni. Because of kasra, you get this. You need to write, remember this writing rule. And how do you make masdar? So that is this is some change when we have mahmuz verb coming. So what happens here? So we don't have taf'ilun. So the patterns changes to whenever there is mahmuz or whenever it is a naqis. So whenever there is a verb ending with the alif maksura or ya. So in those situations, what happens? The masdar is changed from taf'ilun to taf'ilatun. What happens now? Only when it is mahmuz, allami, and when it is naqis. So the pattern is taf'ilatun. So if you do it in that pattern, so the masdar will be tahni'atun. It will be tahni'atun. Taf'ilatun. Samma. So again it is naqis. You sammi. You sammi. To name something. To call. Sammi. And what will be the masdar? So again we need to remember it is ending with it is naqis, so it will be taf'ilatun. So it will be tasmiyatun. Tasmiyatun. That will be your masdar. Hayya, yuhayyi, hayyi. So what is hayya? Is to greet. So how do we make? So here we will have further changes. Now what is happening now is because we got too many yas here. So if we make it in the original pattern, which is taf'ilatun, it will be tahiyyatun. So what happens is when you have two words coming next to each other, so normally they should get an idgham. So now because even though there are different vowel signs, these vowel signs will go away. The kasra will go and the fatha will go. So you get an idgham. So when you get an idgham, because there is a sukoon here, you cannot pronounce the verb. So it will be difficult. So what happens now? To further surgery, so you have to take it, the sukoon away and give it a kasra. So we make it tahiyyatun. Tahiyyatun. So greeting. So when we read in our tashahhud, at-tahiyatu, so at-tahiyatu is the plural for tahiyyatun. Tahiyyatun, and make it definite, it will be at-tahiyyatu. At-tahiyyatu. So this is how it is pronounced, at-tahiyyatu, which means all the greetings. So inshallah we're going to learn about what type of al it is later on. So at the moment, so remember, tahiyyatun comes from hayya. Rabba, so Rabba is to raise or to look after somebody, to provide them food, shelter, and education as well. So everything, to look after all the needs is Rabba. You, Rabbi, and Rabbi is your Amr. So what will be the masdar on the pattern of taf'ilatun? It will be tarbiyatun. Tarbiyatun. So normally we hear a lot of tarbiyah. So tarbiyah is raising or upbringing in a good fashion. What is your tarbiyah? So that's what now we understand it. Masdar bab fa'ala is taf'ilun. So the masdar of bab fa'ala taf'ilatun. Wa ya'ti ala wazni taf'ilatin. And it comes upon the pattern of taf'ilatin إذا كان الفعل ناقصا أو محموز اللام. So when the fa'al is naqis or it is mahmuz al-lami. So now we understand that taf'ilatun, taf'ilun and taf'ilatun. We need to remember that. عرفت في الدرس السابق أن اسم الفاعل من الفعل الثلاثي مجرد على وزن فاعل. واعلم know الآن now أن اسم الفاعل من الفعل غير ثلاثي المجرد يكون بلفظ مضارعه بإبدال حرف المضارعة ميما مضمومة. So what does it mean? It means that the ism fa'il from the fa'il other than fa'il ثلاثي مجرد يكون has to be بلفظ مضارعة بإبدال علامة مضارعة. What are the علامة مضارعة? That is you, tu, u and nu. These are بإبدال. إبدال is changing, to badal, changing. إبدال is to change. بإبدال حرف المضارعة, changing the حرف مضارع. ميما. What is ميما? We use meme, the letter meme. مضمومة. مضمومة with damma. So we know this. So you remove the mudari sign and you replace it with mu, and that will gives us the ism fa'il. So example, yu'allimu will be mu'allimun. Yu'allimu will be mu'allimun. So what you will change? We change the alamatu mudari' to mim madmumatan. Hati asma al-fa'ilina min al-af'al al-atiyati. So give the ism files from the following nouns, following verbs. So we have madi, mudariya, and we need to give ism fa'il. Let's see the examples. So azzana, yu'azzinu. So what will be the ism fa'il to change it to mu? So it will be mu'azzinun. Mu'azzinun. Because it is a noun, so it can end with the tanween, whereas the fa'il cannot end with the tanween. Always remember that. Sajjala, yusajjilu. So what will be the distributor? It will be musajjilun. Musajjilun. Haddasa, yuhaddisu. And what will be the ism fa'il? The one who does it will be muhaddis. Muhaddis. Darrasa, yudarrisu. The one who teaches, what will be it? Mudarrisun. Mudarrisun. Sawwara. Sawwara is to take picture or to mold. Yusawwiru. And what will be the ism fa'il, the one who makes the picture? So it will be musawwirun. Musawwirun. So one of the names of Allah, al-musawwir, one who shapes. So what will be the actually masdar from this? It will be taswirun. Taswirun. So very common word, taswir. It is the masdar from form 2. Dakhana is to smoke. Yudakhinu, so smoking. And the one who smokes will be mudakhinun. Mudakhinun. عرفت في درس سابق أن اسم المفعول. So we know اسم مفعول من الفعل الثلاثي مجرد على وزن مفعول. So we know from the فعل ثلاثي مجرد اسم مفعول is the pattern of مفعول. واعلم الآن أن اسم المفعول من الفعل الغير ثلاثي المجرد يكون على وزن اسم فاعله مع فتح ما قبل آخره. So what does it mean here? So know now وعلم الآن أن اسم المفعول, that اسم مفعول from the فعل other than ثلاثي مجرد, that is مزيد فيه, يكون ala, it has to be ala wazni, on the pattern of ism fa'ilihi fathi ma qabla akhirihi. So instead of kasra, it is same as ism fa'il, but instead of kasra there will be fatha upon where ma qabla akhirihi, that is upon the ayn kalima. You can say on the ayn kalima there will be fatha. So now example, yusajjilu will be ism fa'il will be musajjilun. So how do we make ism maf'ul? So it is musajjalun. So fatha ala ma qabla akhirihi means before the last letter there will be a fatha. That is your ism maf'ul. Going for examples, hati asma al fa'ilina min al af'al al atiyati thumma hawwilha ila asma al maf'ulina. So now we have to bring ism fa'il and change it to ism maf'ul. So let's bring some example. Sajjala mudari', again very good exercise. Yusajjilu musajjilun, and ism maf'ul will be musajjalun with fatha. Moving forward, عرفت في الدرس السابق أن اسمي الزمان والمكان. So what is ismay? It is ismani, ismaini. The noon is dropped when it becomes mudaf. We know that it's duals. So two names, that is az-zaman wal makan. So اسم زمان and اسم مكان يشتقان من الفعل الثلاثي مجرد على وزن مفعل ومفعيل. So we've done this. So we've learned previously in this lesson that the ism zaman and ism makan are derived from the fi'l thulathi mujarrad upon the pattern which is maf'alin wa maf'ilin. Wa'lam al-an. So know now that annahuma, that these two, that is ism zaman and ism makan, yushtaqani, they both are derived min ghayri thulathi mujarrad, from the other than fi'l thulathi mujarrad, ala wazni ism maf'ulihi. So whatever the ism maf'ul just we did, that it will be having fatha alama qabla akhirihi. So upon the ayn kalima when there's fatha, that the same pattern will be your ism zaman and ism makan. For example, salla. So it's not for all the fi'ls, for the certain fi'ls which will describe the ism zaman and ism makan. So salla, yusalli, he prayed, to pray. Musallin will be ism fa'il because it is manqus, so it will be musallin, and the place where it is prayed will be on the pattern of ism maf'ul, which is musallan, but we say musalla will be ism makan, ism makan, ayya makan is salati. So these are the things which we need to know before we actually do the main lesson. So this brings us to the end of class 54 today, where we stop here learning how the form 2 is constructed, everything madi, mudari'a, amr, your masdar, and your ism fa'il, ism maf'ul, your ism zaman and ism makan. That's the comprehensive class for form 2. There is more to be learned. Inshallah, we will do it in our next class. Until then, keep practicing. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.